Hey, I'm John, and today we're diving into a debate that could save you thousands of dollars. Gas cars versus electric cars. Which really saves you more money? Now, you might assume you already know the answer, but there's a shocking twist most people overlook. Stick around, because I'm about to reveal why the real savings might not be what you think. Let's start simple. When comparing gas and electric cars, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Fuel costs, right? But here's a question you probably haven't asked yourself. How exactly do these fuel savings stack up when you factor in things like electricity rates, charging habits, and fluctuating gas prices? To break this down clearly, let's use real numbers. Imagine you drive around 15,000 miles per year. Pretty average. For a typical gas-powered car that gets about 30 miles per gallon, and with gas prices hovering around $4 a gallon, you'd be spending roughly $2,000 each year on fuel alone. Now, how does an electric car compare? An average electric vehicle can go about 4 miles per kilowatt hour. With electricity rates at around 15 cents per kilowatt hour, you're looking at just over $560 annually to drive the same distance. That's already over $1,400 saved every single year. Sounds amazing, right? But here's where things start to get tricky, because fuel savings are just one small part of the picture. Let's talk about something most car buyers ignore: maintenance. Did you know electric cars have significantly fewer moving parts than gas-powered cars? That means fewer repairs, fewer oil changes, and no expensive exhaust systems. According to industry estimates, gas car maintenance typically runs around $1,200 per year, whereas electric cars cost roughly half that, about $600 annually. Another massive saving you probably weren't even factoring in. But here's the twist. What about battery replacement? Electric car skeptics constantly highlight the cost of replacing EV batteries, claiming it could wipe out your savings completely. Is there truth to that claim, or is it just another myth holding you back from going electric? Here's the real deal. Yes, replacing an EV battery can be expensive, often ranging from $5,000 to $15,000, depending on the model. However, modern electric car batteries are designed to last at least 8 to 10 years, and most now come with warranties guaranteeing their lifespan. Plus, battery technology is rapidly improving, reducing replacement costs significantly. So, in reality, the average EV owner will likely never need a battery replacement within the ownership period. But what happens if you do? Let's crunch the numbers. Even if you had to replace your EV battery after 10 years, your total savings on fuel and maintenance over that decade would have already covered that cost comfortably. And if battery prices continue dropping, this fear becomes even less justified. So far, it seems electric cars have a significant edge. But there's another factor you probably haven't considered yet: insurance costs. Here's a surprising fact: electric vehicles often come with slightly higher insurance premiums compared to gas-powered cars. This is partly due to their higher upfront value and the cost of repairing advanced electronics. So how much extra could you actually pay for insurance if you go electric? On average, premiums for electric cars can run about 10% to 15% higher than similar gas-powered models. On a policy costing $1,500 a year, that could mean an extra $150 to $225 annually. Not a deal breaker, but it does slightly narrow the savings gap. But there's a crucial detail most people miss about insurance. Are there hidden discounts or benefits for EV owners you don't know about yet? In fact, yes. Many insurance companies offer exclusive discounts or incentives specifically for electric vehicle owners. These can offset much of that initial premium difference, bringing the costs back in line with gas-powered cars. Additionally, several states and governments offer generous tax credits and incentives for buying electric, further enhancing your overall savings. But here's where things get even more fascinating. Have you ever thought about resale value? Electric cars used to lose value quickly, but the market has dramatically changed. Now, EV resale values are holding steady and, in some cases, even outperforming gas-powered cars. Why? Growing demand, improvements in technology, and increased confidence in battery longevity have stabilized and even boosted used EV values significantly. Think about it. When it's time to sell or trade in, your electric car might actually fetch more than you expect, further enhancing your long-term savings. But hold on, are there hidden pitfalls in owning an electric car you should still be cautious about? There's one critical factor we haven't touched on yet that could completely flip this comparison. In just a moment, I'll reveal what it is, and trust me, if you're considering going electric, you absolutely need to hear this. Here's the crucial detail that could completely change your perspective on electric cars: charging infrastructure. Now, this might not sound exciting at first, but imagine buying an electric car and then realizing you can't conveniently charge it. Charging availability can vary significantly based on where you live. So what exactly do you need to consider before making the switch? First off, if you own a home with a dedicated garage, installing a charger is pretty straightforward and usually inexpensive. Many governments even offer incentives covering installation costs. But what if you live in an apartment or rely on street parking? This can make charging significantly more challenging, potentially requiring frequent use of public chargers, which are often more expensive and less convenient. Now let's talk about time, because with charging, convenience isn't just about money, it's also about how much time you're willing to spend waiting. Rapid charging stations can recharge an electric vehicle significantly in under 30 minutes, but they're typically pricier. Home chargers, on the other hand, usually take several hours but cost far less per charge. Balancing this convenience versus cost is something every potential EV owner needs to seriously consider. But here's the good news. The charging infrastructure is expanding rapidly. Every year, thousands of new public charging stations open across the country. Major networks like Electrify America, ChargePoint, and Tesla's superchargers continue to improve their coverage and reliability. And governments globally are investing heavily in charging infrastructure. Could this growing network finally eliminate the last significant hurdle holding back electric vehicles? Here's another intriguing point. Electricity prices vary widely depending on your location and even the time of day. Many utility providers offer cheaper off-peak electricity rates at night, meaning you could significantly cut charging costs by simply plugging in overnight. Conversely, if your local electricity rates are high, your charging costs could quickly add up, eroding some of your expected savings. So, how do you accurately calculate your real-world savings? First, check your local electricity rates and compare them with current gas prices. Also, evaluate your lifestyle. How often do you drive long distances? How frequently can you conveniently charge? And what public infrastructure is available nearby? The answers to these questions are critical in determining whether an electric or gas-powered vehicle will actually save you more money. Now, here's something fascinating most people completely overlook: depreciation. Historically, electric vehicles depreciated quickly, but that's no longer universally true. In fact, certain EV models like Tesla's lineup now retain value exceptionally well, partly due to increasing consumer demand and confidence in their technology. Conversely, gas-powered vehicles, especially those less fuel-efficient, can depreciate rapidly as fuel costs rise and environmental regulations tighten. Consider this. When factoring in depreciation, owning an electric car might actually be a far smarter financial decision in the long term. If your electric vehicle retains more value over time, that alone could offset higher upfront costs or minor inconveniences with charging infrastructure. Finally, let's briefly touch on future-proofing. Governments around the world are increasingly targeting gasoline and diesel vehicles with restrictions and eventual bans. If you buy a gas-powered vehicle today, its resale value and usability could be severely limited down the road as these policies become reality. By contrast, investing in an electric vehicle could position you perfectly for the future, protecting your investment and giving you peace of mind. To sum it all up, determining whether gas or electric saves you more isn't just about fuel costs. It's about a comprehensive understanding of your lifestyle, location, future resale values, maintenance, infrastructure availability, and evolving market trends. Electric cars offer clear advantages in fuel and maintenance savings, and increasingly in depreciation. Gas-powered cars still offer convenience in immediate fueling and wider current infrastructure, but that convenience might quickly fade. Ultimately, your choice comes down to weighing short-term convenience against long-term financial benefits and market trends. The real savings aren't always immediately obvious, but they become clearer once you carefully analyze these hidden factors. So, what's your verdict? After hearing the full story, are you leaning towards gas or electric? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let's discuss it down in the comments. And if you found this breakdown valuable, please share this video with others who might benefit. Thanks for watching.